This is Florida Natural Farming, Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I just want to talk about growing houseplants, rare philodendrons and rare anthuriums organically, because I watch a lot of these videos and I listen to what people say, and they all have a common thread, and it's the bug, the fungi, and the bacteria is evil. And what I've discovered being an organic certified tropical fruit farm is that the organic management of plants prevents your plant from basically succumbing to insect and disease pressure. We don't have any insect or disease issues here on our tropical fruit trees where everyone else does. If you're not growing naturally and organically, then your plant is going to have disease. Just like people eating pollutants in their plant material and in their feed and their meat are gonna have disease. It causes mutations in cells. Disrupts signaling mechanisms in plants when you use chemicals to grow plants. So we don't have any bug issues on any of our rare anthuriums or philodendrons. And my whole goal with these different plants is to build a better orchard floor. Have them build it. So I've been dividing them and growing them out. And we grow everything here on the farm the exact same way. We use a biodynamic compost that we make. So anything I start in a pot, sometimes I start tropical fruit trees in pure manure. I imagine I could start the anthuriums and the philodendrons in pure dried manure. I'm gonna try that eventually, but I use compost that we make here. This is like a year-old biodynamic compost that's really good stuff. It's white. You can see all the fungi in there. We kind of promote the good fungi and the good bacteria and keep it in balance. Because if you don't have all the different stressors available to your plant, then you're not really going to have all the nutrients that your plant needs. Because a lot of the stressors in plants are nutrients that your plant will eventually absorb, the bacteria and fungi. And then people, these house plants, and then they bring them in their house with their insecticides and their fungicides, and they get freaked out if they see water on the leaves. But in nature, these things are covered in water in the rainforest on their leaf surface. I look at that as a very healthy sign that my plants are healthy. If I see the water coming out, you know, of the leaves, on the leaves. All these new anthuriums, I guess I got about 23 anthuriums. I guess I can go through them. Anthurium crystallinum, Anthurium magnificum, Anthurium veitchii. I haven't divided any of these. This is Anthurium pseudospectabile. This is Anthurium regale. It's not the fungi and the bacteria that you're afraid of. You should be afraid of how you're growing your plant, because that's going to be the leading cause of your plant ability to thwart disease and pests. Because these are outside and I don't even worry about them getting pests in a screen room, basically like a shade house. That's Anthurium waterburyianum. This is Anthurium regale verde. This is Anthurium dolichostachium. They're all like pushing new growth. This is Anthurium querulans. I bought 2 of these because I particularly like this one for some reason. This is Anthurium capulospathum. This is Anthurium metallicum. It's got a new growth point coming out right there. This is Anthurium viterifolium. This is Anthurium warocquianum esmeralda. That's a new leaf. They're so beautiful. I mean, these plants are just stunning. This is Anthurium decipiens. This is Anthurium pallidiflorum. This is Anthurium pedurolaminum. Got a new growth there. And this is Anthurium recavum. This is Anthurium querulans. It's Anthurium sagarens. Anthurium metallicum. Oh, I misstated one over there. This is Anthurium tremulum. This is Anthurium angamarcanum. This is Anthurium bakery. This is Anthurium serenoi velvet. I said metallicum. Extra stunning. So I'm going to go over and look at the compost where I make it. So they obviously grow quite well in compost, a real compost. People this is like an aged material, like it's at least 7 months before I start using it. Generally, the pile I'm using now is over a year. It's a biodynamic compost. These orchids are doing good. I've been making it around this big live oak tree for five years. Piles all the way around it. And it's got some crinums. I put one crinum here that I couldn't get out of the pot, and it like made all those giant white crinums. This is our biodynamic compost pile. The horn manure, or biodynamic corn rather. See how blue the grass is right there? Grass forms relationship with fungi, so I'm sure that that's it's like the healthiest grass around this tree. And here's a pile of compost. And I like the weeds growing in it. I don't walk through there. I kind of just take the same path, the same policy I use for the orchard floor. I use for the orchard floor in here. So there's like a little path, and then I have compost areas of different ages. That one I just finished up. I need to put some fresh compost down there. Fresh manure and hay and pine shavings, basically. And this was the last of my giant piles, because I've switched over to making small piles lower to the ground, and they seem to work better, quicker. So this is it. This is it's like a really fungally dominant, like basically white soil. That's after, I don't know, this is like over probably a year and 2 months, this pile. This was a gigantic pile of compost that I made. Where's my cat? Shelly. Hey, Shelly. It was like, I don't know, 6 feet tall by 20 feet long by about 10 feet wide right here. Maybe not 10 feet, but yeah, it was probably 10 feet. This stuff on the outside already succumbed to the weeds and disappeared, and all that's left is this little tiny pile. And it has fire ants in it, which usually doesn't happen, but it happened on this one. Here's a newer pile of compost, and it's just basically all it is I've been making biodynamic compost in this area, so it's a very biologically active area underneath this live oak tree. So I've been making it for years here. So I dump the cow bedding now. Just, this is 1 day, that's 2 days, that's 3 days, that's 4 days, that's 5 days. So that's 5 days worth of manure. And I just dump it in small areas where I've made compost before, and then put the biodynamic preps in it. And then it's biodynamic compost. And I like throw some of this compost on top of it, and I put a couple of tubs of bokashi fruit compost that I make in there on top. I should have put it underneath, but I didn't. I didn't put underneath on this one, and the compost turned out beautiful. I'll throw a couple of rotten oak logs in there. This one just, I never got to use this because it was just so full of roots that it just, I couldn't even penetrate it. This was a pile. This is a bokashi compost from the cacao, the year-old cacao seedlings I have over there. And it's like still completely hard material. But it was fermented for 6 months in bokashi. I like throw stuff like this onto there. That's pretty cool looking. And then in like 3 months, this will be ready to go. This is already like 3 months old. So once it starts raining, it speeds it up. Because, you know, this is like got rainwater all over it non-stop when in the rainy season in here. It's kind of the drought season right now. I planted some Philodendrons in here, but I don't know where they're at. Should I mark them? No, of course not. I should just stay out of there then. I think the Anthuriums will probably do quite well in this, like holes that are in this oak tree. We will see. Anyway, this is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and that was my talk about organic houseplants, philodendrons, anthuriums, and our anthurium collection. Anyway, have a good day.